Continuing our DC coverage and also our SnyderVerse coverage, where I said I would only talk about SnyderVerse based content if there was substantial amount of evidence, and damn, that Deadline article makes it clear what is coming up. And yes, I've seen the PeaceMaker final scene that's triggered everyone for no reason. So yo, what is good YouTube? Warstu here. If you are new around here, make sure to subscribe to never miss any of the videos. It helps us out, helps the channel grow, shows your love, support. So make sure to subscribe, like, comment, share, tell absolutely everyone about this channel. It really does help me out. And if you want to see the beautiful face behind the beautiful voice, just check us out on Instagram at Warstu. If you want to check us out on Twitter, WarstuG. I post breaking news on there and stuff and random stuff. Maybe you want to follow me over there. So go over there, WarstuG. We've got like 5 followers, so I do respond back to 90% of people if it's warranted. So let's get into this video. So David Zaslav. Okay, guys, something you need to realize is if I say a name wrong, I'm actually doing it on purpose to make you guys tell me I'm doing it wrong. So yes, I know it's not Salaski. I know it's Zaslav. I do it on purpose. Okay, there you go. I've exposed myself. So there's an article a few days old now, but a lot of you have asked me to talk about it. I really didn't want to, but I thought let's jump on a DC video. So the deal gets real at Warner Media as David Zaslav ponders its power structure. Now this is Deadline. It's one of the biggest trades. It's not a click Twitter influencer or an Instagrammer. This is coming from an official trade. So as we know, the Warner Bros. Discovery merger, which is not really a merger, essentially Discovery is merging with Warner Bros. Essentially to form a new company called Warner Brothers Discovery. And this article, I will leave it down below if I remember. I know loads of YouTubers always say they will, but if I don't, just remind me and I'll post it there. So as we know, this is a 43 billion power vacuum, and it's going to be awesome for Warner Brothers. They're going to be able to bring creative talent back, creativity back, and stop all this nonsense we've been having with like some Matrix 4 and whatever they're trying to do in the DC universe at the moment. Yes, I do think the Suicide Squad movie was really cool, and yes, I do think PeaceMaker was really cool. I do support DC going forward, but it doesn't make any financial business sense for Snyder to like, even before the Zack Snyder Justice League movie came out, that interview was pre-done, which is like, no, you're not getting Justice League 2, 3, you're not getting the Ayer cut, even though the Ayer cut is literally sat there ready to go. It was more finished than Zack Snyder's version of the movie was finished, and they don't really have to do anything. It literally makes no sense why they haven't released it already. It's just sat there waiting. So insiders, newsletter, and tip sheet bristled with rumors of departures, including those of Jason Keeler. Okay, he was pro SnyderVerse, so I mean a lot of people think that he did bad, but he kind of did good. But essentially it was due to AT&T why the Snyder cut was realistically released. Touted as a techno maniac, interesting, and Cernoff, who registered a little impact as chairman of Warner Media. So what is interesting is Ann Cernoff came into the company and she was essentially going to make everything connect, but by disconnecting the SnyderVerse, you literally did the opposite. So these two figures at Warner Bros, Warner Media, they are important, but not really. The people you want out from a narrative standpoint is actually Walter Hamada and Toby Emmerich. And from what I hear from my inside sources, Toby and Walter Hamada will be out the door within a year of obviously Discovery taking over. It's a bit harder to get Walter Hamada out because he's attached to all these movies coming out. But if these movies don't bang, it's very obvious what's going to happen here. Having heard it all on his listening tour, Salaski is keenly aware of the mythical mistakes of past corporate owners. So essentially what this article is breaking down is saying that he's ready for the transition, will be more likely an observant one as a senior agent. He has done his homework. So he is literally looking into absolutely everything. And this is what I said over a year ago. Well, okay, not over a year ago. It was just after the Snyder Cut came out. So it came out in the middle of March. So I think I said it in April, where I said that when Discovery comes through, they will literally look over everything, look at the financials, look at what is making money, look at what's popping. And this is not just about restoring the SnyderVerse, but a lot of people seem to think that Discovery is coming in and they want to spend up to $20 billion on content just to restore the SnyderVerse. Now, I am a SnyderVerse fan, but I'm also a DC fan. I want David to come in and make the whole company better. Warner Brothers are behind a lot of big projects like Harry Potter and so many more huge franchises. But over the last 5 years or so, Warner Bros. Has become a bit of a joke in Hollywood for mismanagement, and not really listening to what the fans want. I mean, I hate to say this, but Marvel literally gives the fans what they want, and DC kind of does the complete opposite. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm looking forward to Black Adam, but that is basically a Rock movie. The Rock has got his own way with literally everything, including a Henry Cavill Superman cameo role, rumoredly only. So it will be interesting to see how this plays out. And if you really think Batman and Superman are going to take a back seat, and if you really think that Michael Keaton Batman is going to be the main Batman for the next 5 years, get out of here. Get out of here. David said when they were in early talks of this information coming out, he literally said Batman and Superman is the pinnacle to DC. Do you really think Batgirl is going to be the face of DC going forward? Do you really think Michael Keaton is going to be the face of Batman going forward? No. As we've seen in the Batgirl set photos and set video clips that have leaked, they're actually flashback scenes. They're not new scenes. They are flashback scenes because Jim Gordon looks younger. He's got a full head of hair, unless they're going to give him a wig to be in the present day, but they're clearly flashback scenes. So Michael Keaton Batman is not going to be the face of the Batman franchise going forward. So am I confident, like I've always been confident about the Snyderverse being restored? Yes. I've told you for the last year or so, probably longer, on record, like your boy Warstu has told you it's happening, and it's closer than it's ever been, but it's not 100% confirmed. But you combine this with Zack Snyder teasing stuff recently with a poster with a Zack Snyder Justice League 2 and Crisis happened to be sat behind the turkey on Thanksgiving. Really? And then he just happens to come out and smack talk Warner Brothers, and then he just happens to come out and say, oh, well, if Discovery wants me to come back, all they've got to do is literally get rid of every Warner Bros. Executive and I'll be there. So I'm not going to sound like a maniac and be like, yeah, when David Zaslav comes in, he's going to restore everything. Literally day one. No, they're not going to get rid of 2 years worth of movies because they've got the slate for this year and the slate for next year with Shazam 2, etc. So they're not going to get rid of all them movies. You just got to wait and see what happens after that. And anyway, any freaking way, the Snyderverse is on its own continuity. It doesn't really matter what happens in The Flash and all these other movies, even though Black Adam, Shazam 2, Wonder Woman 3, they're all really connected to Snyderverse. In fact, PeaceMaker's connected to Snyderverse as well. So I don't really understand why a lot of you guys will get intrigued and like, you're not a real DC fan if you like Peacemaker. James Gunn's Peacemaker was really good. I enjoyed it. The Suicide Squad movie was really good. And that had nothing to do with going to the UK premiere for it. Absolutely nothing to do with it because I am transparent as if I don't like something, I would say it regardless to who owns it. So the Snyderverse is happening. It's as close as it's ever going to be to happening. So the Warner Bros. Execs are in charge for the next, I think, 60 to 90 days. So within the next 3 months, Discovery, Warner Bros. Will properly make a huge impact. And he's got high expectations for everything going forward. He's looked over everything. And you know him and Zack Snyder have had private conversations behind the scenes. Yes, I know officially they're not allowed to do that, but unofficially they can do whatever the friggin' hell they want. So let's talk about this Peacemaker image, which a lot of people got triggered by my comments when I said it. I don't understand why a lot of people are getting triggered. So at the end of Peacemaker season 1, which is being renewed for season 2, we get a scene between essentially Aquaman and the Flash. And a lot of people were triggered because you don't get to see Henry Cavill Superman's face, or you don't get to see Wonder Woman's face, or Ben Affleck Batman's not in it, or Ray Fisher's Cyborg's in it. But when you think about it from a narrative standpoint, the Flash has a movie coming out. Aquaman has a movie coming out. Wonder Woman 3 hasn't even started shooting yet. They've not even finished the script yet. Superman doesn't have a movie coming out. Ben Affleck doesn't have a movie coming out. Ray Fisher Cyborg doesn't have a movie coming out. So what essentially happens in this scene? Well, essentially, it's a really funny scene between the Flash and Aquaman about fish. And that's just it. And a lot of, like, I would say fake DC fans, essentially, because someone's like, if you like that scene, you're not a real DC fan. I don't understand what this scene has to do with being a real DC fan. And it's even to the point where it's very disrespectful on the Snyderverse. We wanted the dark side face off. Look, every single Marvel fan wants the dark face off. They want Justice League 2. All the Marvel fanboys were hyped for Justice League. They really were. But there's a way to articulate yourself, and there's a way to carry yourself. Let's just read a comment off. Total disrespectful with a Justice League. I'm not even going to say about Zack Snyder's Justice League, nor one's Aquaman. It was totally disrespectful with the heroes of the Justice League. You're late, dickheads. If I was Aquaman, I'd have snubbed Peacemaker with the trident. And I don't get it. And then someone's like, total different tone, total different director. We can all enjoy the DC content as a whole. And this is something I don't really understand about the DC community is a lot of these people who are like diehard Snyder fanboys, and I really like Snyder's work. I think Man of Steel's the greatest movie ever. I really like Batman vs. Superman. I really like Zack Snyder's Justice League. Even though as great as they are you going to sit there and tell me in 2 weeks' time when it comes out to the public, you're not going to go watch Matt Reeves' Batman? Because if you're like anti anything that isn't Snyderverse, Snyderverse and you go and watch the Batman movie, or say you go and watch anything else like The Flash or anything like that, you're contradicting yourself. So let me know down below, guys. I really don't get this dishonesty between the community. It's like, if you don't like what's coming up, cool, but don't make out you're not going to like what's coming up, then you go and watch it anyway, because I know exactly how this is going to play out. Most people will go and watch Matt Reeves' Batman because you're going to be interested to see what the freaking hell is going on. And we all know that universe has a Superman because they've been talking about it. It has a Joker. It has a Warstu, who is like, yeah, you don't even want to hear that Warstu. But do you get my point? If you're going to be a diehard Snyderverse fanboy or fan, be that, and don't make out you're not going to be watching anything. You're not going to go watch any other DC project ever again because Walter Hamada's name's attached to it. He's the head of DC Films. His name's going to be attached to every single project around for now. So like always, guys, as I've told you from day one, when I told you the Snyder Cut was coming out 2 years ago, it came out. And as I've told you since day one, when I said the Snyderverse will be restored, it will be restored. It's just going to take time. So chill out. And if you're going to go watch the Batman in 2 weeks' time, enjoy it. That does not mean you're cheating or you're a traitor and you're not a real DC fan. Because if you're a real DC fan, you will be playing the video games, which 90% of DC fans don't do anyway. You'll be watching the cartoons, the animated series, the anime, you'll be reading the comics, you'll be doing everything. And let's be honest, guys, a very small portion of DC Universe fans, Snyderverse fans, will play the video games, will watch the animated series, will watch the TV shows, will literally do everything. No one does everything. So just calm down, guys. Interesting. Let's have a mature adult conversation down below. If you disagree about my comments about why the PeaceMaker cameo was good, you were never going to get Batfleck, Wonder Woman, Gal Gadot, Ray Fisher Cyborg, Henry Cavill Superman in that scene talking. It was never going to happen. It literally was like a 10-second clip. It was never going to happen. The only reason that they got Ezra Miller in it was because James Gunn was like, yo, Marvel, I need my boy Ezra Miller to come do a Flash cameo for PeaceMaker. Can he do it? And they're like, yeah, cool, we can do that. And obviously they did the Aquaman scene when they were shooting Aquaman 2, and it was edited together, I guess you could say, kind of like the Nightmare scene was Zack Snyder when the Joker, Jared Leto, and Ben Affleck were never in the same room, but it looked like it. It was a very good scene, very good. Looking forward to Peacemaker Season 2. Let me know down below what you thought of Peacemaker Season 1. And like always, guys, the Snyderverse is coming. It could be restored. I'm probably going to have to put in the title, it will be restored, because I still believe it is. There is so much evidence. We're closer than ever before. But like always, guys, if you want to see the beautiful face behind the beautiful voice, just check us out on Instagram at Warstu. Make sure to follow if you're into like gym stuff and you follow this comic book stuff and all these movies. I post a bunch of random stuff as well. Also check us out on Twitter, WarstuG, as I've got like 12 followers over there, and I will respond to you if you message me over there. The DMs are open if people want to talk. Can't always respond to everyone, but I try my best. So like always, guys, and also check us out on twitch.tv/Warstu, and I will catch you in another video very soon. But get ready, because the Snyderverse is coming. It's not a case of if, it's a case of when, and I will catch you in another video very soon. Catch you later.